Greetings, my rare hunters! It is I, MariK! Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super deck profile. Today we'll be showcasing the deck that we got second place with at our Union Force Championship over the weekend. We're going to be trying out a different angle for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like it better this way, or if you think we should go back to doing deck profiles the way we were doing it before. I decided to go back to my Trunks deck this weekend. We did play with the Mono Blue Vegito at an ARG States over the weekend as well. We did that on Saturday, but in all reality, the deck itself wasn't the problem. I was the problem. My anxiety just got the better of me, and I just couldn't handle being surrounded by that many people. It's been so long since I've been to a regional. I haven't done Yu-Gi-Oh! Regionals in like 5+ years. But anyway, so we went back with Trunks. Why Trunks? Aside from the fact that he's one of my favorite characters, and the Trunks leader, I just think he's amazing. Just his auto to just draw a card every time you combo, it's like free comboing, really. It sucks a little bit when you have to use the energy, but that's not that big of a deal. You guys already know what the leader does, but, you know, once per turn, combo the card, 2 or more energy, draw a card, and there's a lot of great cards to abuse with this ability, and we'll get into those in a moment. So the first card, obviously, that we ran in the deck is going to be 3 Bulma, Supporter of the Future. Now, actually, we decided to run 3 Bulma instead of 4. We just found that late game she doesn't really help if she just either gets just useless combo or energy. So I went with 3 because we also run 3 of Trunks' Time Machine, which either way, they're both pretty great. With the current build that we have, Bulma is slightly better because she can just search the deck for anything. However, Trunks' Time Machine also allows you to get a Son Goku or a Vegeta, which we do run some Vegetas in the deck. We'll get to those in a moment as well. But the reason I like the Time Machine so much is once you get it late game, you know, at 4 or 5 energy, it's a free card. It's a free search, and I like that. Whereas Bulma is great early game because starting with her, like, she's gonna be your play turn 1 almost every time if you draw into her. There's no reason not to. So we decided to go with 3 and 3 for the Bulmas. Now, when it comes to searching out a Trunks, one of the main cards you're gonna be searching out is Trunks Link to the Future. Now, with this Trunks, I actually wish I had ran more of them. My buddy Alex told me to throw it in last minute, and I did not end up regretting it. I actually wish that I had more of them. I only have 2 because I only bought one of the Heroes boxes, and, well, the supply definitely does not meet the demand for those boxes, so I have to pick myself up a couple of them. But just having critical every time is really great, especially when you combo with it every turn. They're going to want to stop that critical. It's just, I think it's one of the best abilities in the game, to be honest. So we ran 2 of those. One of the other cards that we would search out, now this would be more, a little bit later game, 2 Light of Hope Trunks. We got 1 beautiful foil one and 1 non-foil one. My buddy Mikey actually hooked me up with the foil one. I love this card, but if you're not going to make it to turn 5, he's pretty useless. It would be a lot better, too, if his ability said that your leader gains 5,000, period, but it's only during your turn. But it's not bad. But once you're at turn 5, your leader is automatically, you know, 20,000, and Light of Hope is 20,000 as well. Turn 3 energy, really not a high energy cost, so I like it. But I don't like more than 2 of them just because he is only good late game. The other main Trunks, aside from Link to the Future that we played, is Trunks Creator of the Future. Now, initially, I didn't really care for this one when the set first came out, but I was more interested in building a blue-green deck, like the previous deck profile. Well, Trunks Creator of the Future is actually a really good card, and the reason I like him so much is for momentum. He does cost 3 blue energy on a card that is literally 3 energy to play, which is fine because we're running mono blue. So you play him, swing for 15, activate main, place him on the bottom of your deck. play a blue Goku or Vegeta with 3 or less energy from your hand for free. So that gives you another card to play and another attack to swing with as well. The reason I like this Trunks so much is because when you combine him with Vegeta, the Proud Father, you can very easily take out your opponent's biggest competitors, their biggest fighters. So when Vegeta comes into play using a future Trunks ability, you choose one opponent's battle card of energy, any energy level, and just blow it up. So the thing I like about this Vegeta so much is, since he doesn't have an energy requirement, or an energy limit rather, if, for example, you were going against a Cell player, they drop Cell on you turn 3, that's going to hurt. But if you've got that Trunks, you can play it, swing at their leader, activate the ability, drop the Vegeta, blow up their Cell, which is going to set them back a little bit. And depending on how many cards they have left, it could set them back quite a bit because they committed so many resources to that Cell. And then this Vegeta is 15,000, so you can just go ahead and swing with him again. I really like him. I think 4 in the deck's okay. If you're drawn to it too early or you're drawn to too many, you can always charge his energy. It's not that big of a deal. The other Vegeta that we can play with that Trunks ability is Comrades Combined Vegeta, which a lot of times I'm just going to play him for 2 energy anyways, because if all your energy are blue, you can play him for 2 instead of 3, and 2 energy for, you know, 20,000, that's not bad at all. That's one of the highest attacking 2 drops in the game, if not the highest. And that's a lot of momentum, and, you know, on turn 2, your opponent's going to have to combo pretty heavily to even KO a 20,000 power card, so I think he's just fantastic. But more often than not, I'm just going to play him with his own ability. One of my favorite cards in the deck, which I cannot search with any of our 6 searchers, is Time Patrol Trunks. Time Patrol Trunks here is one of the best cards in the deck, probably one of the best cards in the game, just because you can overwhelm him for 3, and with this deck you're comboing a lot, so you're going to get cards in the drop area very quickly. When you play him, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add one to your hand, then you can put the other one on the top or bottom. I really like that ability because a lot of the times I'm like, wow, I kind of want both of these cards. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, well, this is completely useless right now. Let's put it on the bottom, and then I'm not going to draw it for quite a while. However, since he's Trunks Xeno and not Trunks Future, you can't search him out, but it's okay. We only run 2. I don't think we need more than that. I mean, it could be helpful to run 3 or maybe even 4 because we do combo with this deck, but we don't combo excessively. So that's why I thought 2 was more than enough, because we're not going to waste all of our combo stuff on our opponent's turn because we won't get the leader's auto. And speaking of combo cards, as you all know, my favorite, Raging Spirit, Son Gohan. We run 4 of them because why not? He meets the requirement for 2 energy or higher. You get the draw from the leader. He comes into play. Next turn, you got another 15,000 attacker. So for 1 energy, I don't see any reason not to play 4 of these. But then again, I'm the kind of guy that I like to play 4 of these in all of my decks anyways. The other main combo card that I really like with this deck is Trunks' present self, Unyielding Spirit Trunks. The auto says when you combo with the card, the leader's blue, reset 1 of your energy. And since he's a 2-drop, you do get the auto, so you do get to draw an extra card. So he's a free 5,000 reset in energy. He's almost as good as Sensu. Or if you want to look at it this way, because he allows you to draw with the leader's ability, he is kind of better than Sensu Bean in this deck, as long as you're not going to keep trying to use your energy. But either way, for that card, I honestly cannot justify anybody running less than 4 of those if they're running a blue leader. Like, that should be 4 of in every blue deck. Next, we have another one of the better combo cards, Furthering Destruction Champa. We play 3 of them. We did have 2. We decided to up it to 3 because you do get the draw with Trunks. So I thought, well, this way it's not, I'm not minusing myself to play it. So we bumped up to 3. I thought 4 might be too much. When you combo with him, you give the attacking card Double Strike. And, you know, 10k double strike, especially on the Link to the Future Trunks, the one with crit. Right there, that's 25,000 crit double strike. If your opponent can't stop that, that hurts like hell. If they can stop it, it's going to hurt like hell because they're going to dump a lot of resources to stop it. And then, of course, one of the #1 cards to combo with to get Trunks' leader ability, boost attack, Piccolo. We run 4. There's no reason not to. I don't think I'll change it to Vegito with set 3. I think Vegito being more of a defensive card would be better for maybe Goku Black deck. But for now, I still think Piccolo is probably the best option anyways. We also run 4 My Supporter of Hope. I like this card a lot because she is a free card. She's a free blocker. Blockers, I think, in such an aggro meta right now is a really good thing. And even if you didn't want to play her as a blocker, since she has an energy cost of 2, you can combo with her and get that extra draw off Trunks as well. So I see no reason not to play her. 4 might be a little excessive for some people, but I really like it at 4 since she has offensive and defensive value. And speaking of offensive and defensive value, for Senzu Bean, I don't really feel that there's a need to explain why. I don't really feel there's a reason to explain why you should never run less than 4. If you're running blue, you run 4 of these. And 9 times out of 10, if your leader is not blue and you're splashing blue in, it's so you can run 4 of these. And then, lastly, we run 3 Whis' Coercion. The reason I ran 3 of these is because with the deck being a little more aggro, and with the competition being aggro as well, I feel like the games are going to go pretty quick, which they did. But with 3 Whis' Coercion, we still have 4 blockers with the Mai. So, essentially we have 7 negates. So having 3 Whis doesn't really hurt too much, and whereas Whis, I have to have the energy active to be able to play the negate, Mai doesn't give a shit. Mai just says, hey, I'm here to take the hit, and I'm cool with it. So we only run 3 Whis. I thought about siding the 4th, but I kind of felt like it was a waste of a side deck card. So round 1, I ended up playing against a friend of mine. He's playing the Majin Vegeta Draft Box leader, which, when played properly, is actually a really terrifying leader to play with. I like it a little bit better than the blue crit Vegeta, just because since you're not taking from your life, you're not as easy to kill, and at the same time, since you're dumping cards from your hand, you're filling your drop zone for Overrealm cards. And on top of that, you're getting cards out of your hand so you can play Ultimate Comeback Gohan for 2 energy, which is a really scary card to have to go against on turn 2 or even turn 3, which that Proudfather Vegeta comes in really handy. We ended up beating him. Round 2, we had kind of a mirror match. We played against another guy playing Future Trunks with the Trunks support, although he played some stuff that we don't play, and we have some things that he doesn't have at all. Like he didn't have any Overrealm stuff. He didn't have the Light of Hope. He didn't have quite a few things, but he was also playing the new Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, the crit one, which he actually did manage to get it out on me, and then I guess just blew it up with, you know, Proudfather Vegeta. We beat him. The last round we ended up playing against another friend of ours. He was running Gotenks. I feel like had I paid slightly more attention, I would have been able to beat him. Game 2, I made the mistake of not keeping up with my Overrealm, and I had played Time Patrol Trunks in that turn, but I had so many battle cards on the board, and I was attacking and comboing, and I ended up comboing with Time Patrol Trunks, and that, you know, ended up sending it to the drop area. And with all the other cards I was comboing with, he kind of got buried in my drop area. That led me to forget about the fact that I overwhelmed for that turn. And so, looking at everything I had in my hand, I overextended intentionally, tapping myself out to dump my entire hand to take the rest of his life. And he stopped everything, which was the plan. And then I was going to overwhelm Master Saiyan and just swing for double strike. And it wasn't until I got to that point that I realized, oh shit, I already overwhelm summoned for this turn. And because the Trunks was no longer on the board like he usually is, that's the first time I've ever comboed with him to get him off, to get him, you know, even in the drop area. And I didn't think about that, and it ended up costing me the game, which was fine. My friend did a great job anyways. His Gotenks deck is pretty good, and it's really hard to keep up with turn 2 and turn 3 and turn 4 Super Ghost Kamikazes, because, you know, 15,000 tokens are no joke. And even once you awaken, like, you still have to combo to not take damage from those free tokens. So that's pretty sick. But we did end up getting second with it, so it's not too bad. Our side deck's a little bit different this time around. So instead of focusing on trying to stop everything that we might play against, we decided to change up our strategy a little bit instead. It was a thing that me and my team used to do with Yu-Gi-Oh! That actually works out better than just siding in stuff to counter specific decks. Because you can't predict every deck that you're going to play against, and you can't prepare for every deck you're going to play against. But what you can do is prepare your side deck to change your play style if it might do better. And 9 times out of 10 that does work better. It definitely did back in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Days. But so the side deck, we have 4 of the Comrades combined Goku. The reason why we side deck him and not main deck him is because main decked we don't really need him. Like, I mean, he's alright, but him bringing out a Proud Father Vegeta does me nothing. Also, him bringing out Comrade Combined Vegeta in rest mode does me nothing. So we don't main deck him. We side deck 4 of him because he can do that if we really need him to. But mainly because we side deck in 2 Trunks the Constant Hope. Now, the reason we side these and not main deck them is because this deck is still a little aggro. It's not as heavily aggro as our Mono Blue started at Goku Vegeta deck, Vegito deck. So we side these in against slower decks like Zamasu or maybe even Cell possibly. So he's siding the Gokus, siding the Trunks, because this Trunks triple strike, and then he gets a free combo when he attacks or is attacked. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to use a Piccolo in your drop area as long as you didn't overwhelm it. And getting that free draw, the free combo, which triggers the leader, which gets you a draw, which gets him an extra 10,000, free 35,000 triple strike, on top of whatever else you combo, is terrifying. We also side deck 2 results of training. In the instance that our opponent doesn't want to awaken us. The only downside to not awakening with this deck, though, is you just don't get the draw when you attack. It's not as bad as not being able to awaken with started at Goku. The difference there being, you know, you get to reset 2 energy instead of 1. That is a huge difference. But not getting the 1 draw is still really a pain in the ass, too. So we run 2 result of training. Now, for more aggressive decks that like to combo and like to go in really quick, we run 3 Ultimate Judgment Jocko. This would be, you know, if the opponent is playing a faster aggro deck than we are, you just combo it, bounce their stuff back, and 9 times out of 10 you do that properly, you're going to make it a lot easier to survive. It does suck when you have to bounce back a card like Furthering Destruction Champa, where they can use it again. And it also sucks when you have to bounce back a card like Lord forbid, one of the perfect guards like Piccolo or even Trunks, Protector of Children. That stuff, that really hurts the worst. And then we also have 2 Mass Saiyans in the side deck. The reason we side deck him is we don't really need him main decked because we have the Vegetas that pop. He's more for decks that play a lot of things in Swarm. So he would be better in, like, I don't know, Ginyu, or maybe even Androids, because they're, you know, they play them relatively quickly because they have a lower energy cost in the hand. He can also KO a Ultimate Gohan and other shit at the same time, as long as your opponent has, you know, 3 or 4 cards in their hand. So I don't think I need him main decked. He works perfectly fine side deck. The last 2 cards in the side deck are Mafuba. Really, the only thing Mafuba is there for is, I mean, I could use him against Cell, but again, I've got the Vegeta that'll just blow up a Cell. The only card Mafuba really would do better against than anything else I have side decked or main decked would be Zamasu cards, because, you know, Zamasu can't leave the field at all. Or even Whis, the blocker from Series 2, since he can't be destroyed by card effects either, you just Mafuba him just to get him out of the way for the moment. I couldn't really figure out anything else to side in for it, so I felt it was good enough to leave in the case I needed it, which I never did end up needing it. I did play against 3 more aggro than non-aggro decks, so it didn't really help me out this time, but I liked it in the side deck, and I thought it was a good option. I couldn't really come up with anything better. I thought about side decking a couple Gotens, but again, the Vegeta's just better for this particular deck, in my opinion. But that's our Union Force Shop Championship deck list, or deck profile. If you guys like the deck, or if you think this is a better build than my blue-green build, feel free to let me know. I've been making some tweaks to the blue-green build as well, because I did realize there were things that weren't so helpful in the deck and things that could be better in the deck. Not to mention, we built that deck before any of the black cards even came out, so, you know, we would need to put in Time Patrol Trunks or even Mass Saiyans. And with all the new black stuff coming out too, not to mention all the new support, all of my decks are going to end up changing. But I'd still like to hear your thoughts on the deck, the side deck, any of the strategy-related things I've mentioned, what you think about them, or if you think they're good or bad, either way. Let me know in the comments below, but we're going to go ahead and get out of here now. We'll see you guys in the next video.